A lot of entrepreneurs think that hiring overseas is risky, but I think the real risk is waking up a year from now and still doing everything in the business alone. In this video, I'm walking you through the 4 virtual assistant myths that pop up way too often in our client calls. I'm Zach, founder of Talented. We've placed over 30 savage hires from the Philippines for 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs. I have my own VA team in the Philippines that runs my e-commerce business, and we do $1 million a year in revenue. After 300 plus interviews, I know firsthand these are complete BS, so if you still believe any of them, it might be the reason your business is not where you want it to be. Starting with myth number 1. Myth number 1 is they don't speak any English. People assume that because they are hiring from the Philippines, they're going to have to sacrifice good communication, that they're going to have to keep explaining things over and over again and speaking to this person in broken English just that they'll understand what they're saying. Now, the population of the Philippines is around 116 million people, and recent statistics show that 55% of the population speaks English, which, if my calculations are correct, that puts us at about 60 million people, somewhere in there, which is a lot of English speakers to choose from. English is also one of 2 official languages of the Philippines, and all their schools are taught in English. It's the primary language in all their education. So it's like everything is in English, and then they have Filipino language class like we would Spanish or French in the US. Now, good communication for business is a non-negotiable for me. I don't tolerate someone that can't understand English well for my own team and for all of our clients' teams. But fortunately, when I'm hiring from the Philippines, that isn't a problem. But I have to filter to actually find the 55% of English speakers. So on our initial application, we have all applicants submit a English test response. And then on the pre-interview and on the actual interview, it's pretty easy to tell if they can't speak good English based on the way they're talking. But that is a non-negotiable for me. I'm like, if someone has bad English, it's a no-go no matter what their experience looks like. Myth 2 is you get what you pay for. Now, a lot of people have this idea that because you're hiring someone overseas and that the relative salary is super low for the US, that the quality of the work is going to reflect that. Now, I think this mostly comes from the people that will hire a $2 an hour VA and be like, wow, this person really can't get stuff done. Yeah, that's the truth. It's because that when you think about the different currency, that's the equivalent of like a $30,000 a year employee in the US, which is, if you've worked with employees in the US, you can imagine what kind of talent that can get you. So that's why I find the best value in like the $5 an hour range, where you get someone that is equivalent essentially to a $70,000 a year employee in the US. That's the same lifestyle it could afford, because when you convert USD to Philippine peso, it goes a lot further for them out in the Philippines. Like, the cost of living is just lower compared to the US, and so a $5 an hour salary is the equivalent of a $70,000 a year salary in the US. Because we have to keep in mind, we're operating in an entirely different economy. Myth number 3 is passive income. We all love the 4-hour work week, don't we? That you can just hire a virtual assistant and then they'll just run the entire business for you. You don't actually have to know how to do these things in the business. Now, I will say, with enough iteration and enough coaching and enough years in your business, I think a virtual assistant can run your business. In fact, they run mine entirely right now as I make this video, my e-commerce business. But they're not miracle workers. They are humans too, and so they can't just hop in day one and start taking everything off your plate. It's basically just going to be a worse version of what you already have, because they need your active leadership. Everyone needs some sort of guidance, coach to get to where they want to go. And so that applies for team members too. But as an entrepreneur, I think that eventually your sole job should become being a leader. Like, that becomes the most valuable thing you do with your time, but it's far from passive. Maybe passive in the sense that you don't have to be so involved in the day-to-day of the business, but it's not a go lay on the beach, chill at Bali, passive income sort of idea. It's going to require a lot of continuous effort and a lot of coaching, a lot of training on your part. Myth number 4 is data entry only. Why would I trust them with anything more than data entry? I thought that's all they're good for, right? Like, what you actually like trust them with the actual parts of your business? Now, I will say data entry is a great place to start when you bring on, especially for like clients that are hiring for the first time overseas. It's a great place to start. It's easy to teach. It's like a good trial run. But I think if you leave your VAs at the data entry level forever, you're missing out on the true potential they can provide for your business. Now, a lot of them are used to these kind of roles where it's very consistent for years and years. So at some point you do have to coach them past that, but in my vetting process, I am looking for someone that is very hungry and very motivated, that wants to get coached past that data entry level. But I definitely think it's a good place to start. However, my team is far past data entry. Trust me, they do way more than data entry. They make very valuable, very important decisions in the business, but it didn't start that way. I definitely built them up, training and coaching and leading, as we said, over time in order to get there. Now, I think we're at a point with AI, honestly, where a lot of the data entry tasks that people hand to VAs could just be automated with AI. So don't believe that all your VA can do is data entry. If you hire the right person, they can do way more than that. They can run very important parts of your business. But as we said in the last one, it takes time. All right, now that you know the truth behind these myths, here's what that actually means for your business. Every task that you're still doing that could be delegated for $5 an hour means that's where you're valuing your time at. But when you hire well, you can get 4 times the output for the same price as one US hire. That's 160 hours every week towards your goal, towards your mission. 160 hours a week. Imagine what you could build with 160 hours more every single week. This is exactly what we do for all of our clients at Talented. Once you feel what it's like to have a team that actually thinks like you do, trust me, you will never go back to doing everything yourself ever again. So if you want the full breakdown on how you can scout great talent for your business overseas in 14 days, click this video right here. I appreciate you watching this one to the end, and I'll see you in the next video.